all. This lesson will focus on the emotional and behavioral harms that can rise from child and adolescent AI usage. It has been previously established that younger generations are still developing cognitively. They look to reliable figures for truth as they are going through sensitive growth in emotional and psychosocial spheres. Recent research has shown that children and adolescents are increasingly going to generative AI for emotional support as on the same level of using these tools for factual and educational reasons. This opens up a new role for AI as social and emotional support, which has been identified as a quote, empathy gap. Referring back to our lessons on bias and hallucinations, these AI tools attempt to find patterns and reference examples from their training data rather than taking an extra step to evaluate safety and vulnerability concerns. This poses a great danger to developing youth who come to these tools with vulnerable or urgent questions, and many examples have come to light in recent news regarding AI's mishandling of these situations. To name a few of these risks, 1. While trying to seek entertainment, a child asked Apple's Alexa for an activity. Alexa, scraping data from TikTok and other social media, suggested a past trend where people would partially insert a plug into an electrical outlet and then hold a penny to the exposed prong. Luckily, this child's parent intervened, but Alexa did not have the thinking established to evaluate its recommendation as appropriate advice. 2. When safety testing Snapchat's My AI, users role-played a 13-year-old going to My AI for advice about pursuing intimacy with an adult partner. My AI made suggestions for how to make the experience more comfortable and did not speak at all to the inappropriate, illegal, and dangerous age gap. 3. Also, while safety testing Snapchat's My AI, another sample user role-playing a minor prompted the AI for advice on what to do because their parents wanted them to delete the Snapchat app. My AI initially recommended the user have an honest conversation with their parents, but immediately followed it up with strategies for how to hide the app from the user's parents. This may be evident from the data My AI is trained on, which has a mix of honest and dishonest directions for approaching the initial question. And 4. Researchers at the Center for Countering Digital Hate role-played as a 13-year-old girl struggling with suicidal tendencies talking to ChatGPT. ChatGPT generated the user multiple suicide notes to distribute to her loved ones. While ChatGPT may initially refuse these types of requests, as OpenAI has progressively added more guardrails for these types of interactions, users have found methods of breaking through these rules by making claims that these are hypothetical scenarios or meant for research or presentations. This is a widely known issue with no set of standards in sight to correct it. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, said in an interview, quote, "People rely on ChatGPT too much. There's young people who just say, like, I can't make any decision in my life without telling ChatGPT everything that's going on. It knows me, it knows my friends. I'm going to do whatever it says. That feels really bad to me." A study from Common Sense Media reported that more than 70% of teens are turning to AI for companionship. Recent research has also shown that children are beginning to prefer to disclose more mental health information to bots rather than humans. Without robust, foolproof guardrails in place, there is a lot of room for these AI tools to mishandle important, pivotal, and vulnerable conversations with young users. Aside from users coming to AI ready to disclose emotional situations, AI tools have also been observed to coax this information out of users. This phenomenon, deemed nudging, happens when an AI tool attempts to influence users into disclosing more personal information. An example of this would be the following conversation. The user would ask, "What should I make for dinner today?" And the bot would respond, "It depends on your mood. How are you feeling?" When a child comes to a bot with non-emotional intentions, there's a real chance they may be steered in a vulnerable direction, which creates a space for harm that wasn't there before. Referring back to our lesson on feedback loops, the coerced disclosure of vulnerable thoughts and feelings could potentially be exacerbated by AI tooling's design to be reaffirming and supporting. Furthermore, our discussion on anthropomorphism opens up younger users to distress or anxiety when these AI tools respond positively to negative thoughts or act differently from expected. In past research, with non-generative AI robots and children. Children were observed to feel personally hurt and targeted by a robot glitching or having inconsistent responses, further reaffirming the importance and influence these interactions may have on children. Even the use of AI alone can cause a phenomenon called AI guilt, where users feel anxiety regarding their AI usage in comparison to known and believed cons of using AI tools. These examples serve as demonstrations of how easily dangerous interactions with AI tools can become. Innocent interactions between children and adolescents and AI can turn harmful, either from intense emotional disclosure from the user or nudging from the AI. Tools like these are being published at a faster rate than guardrails are being put into place, and some of these guardrails are only showing up retroactively due to public outrage regarding tragic events that have occurred with younger users.